What's going on, King of Kings family? We are in day 12 of our Acts campaign to read the book of Acts, one chapter a day, January 1st to February 1st, skipping Sundays. And we are in Acts chapter 12, and I gravitated to verses 12 through 16, where Peter shows up at Mary's house, and the servant girl hears his voice, doesn't let him in, and she's just so excited, she just can't believe it. She goes in to tell the people in the house that Peter's there, and they don't believe her. And they have this big argument, and then finally they go out and they see that, no, actually it is Peter knocking at the door. And part of what we have to understand about the culture is that women were not listened to in Peter's day. Servants were not listened to. That those were two classes that would have been marginalized in that society. And so she had, she was doubly marginalized, being a woman, being a servant. And yet she was the bringer of good news, that Peter was in fact alive, that he was in fact out of prison, and they didn't listen to her. And I wonder, who are the voices that we don't listen to? Because what they want to tell us is so outside of our experience, so outside of the box, that we'd rather not hear it. You see this a lot in times of high political tension, that we don't want to listen to someone of another viewpoint. We see this in church sometimes, when the minority opinion doesn't get listened to, even though they might have a creative idea. One of the things I'm really trying to listen to right now is the voices of our young people, who, as I've shared in church, that statistically 1 million young people will leave the church when they turn 18, never to come back. We know this sociologically. And so I'm trying to listen to those folks, and I wonder, what are their perspectives? What do they have to offer? What would they do if they ran the show in church? What would church look like? How would it be meaningful to them? And I'm trying to listen to that and be challenged by that, and think about what we can possibly implement in that, because the youth are not the future of the church. The youth are the present of the church. They're just as much members of the church as anybody else. And so, and in churches, the youth tend to be pretty marginalized in terms of their voice. So my challenge to you, and maybe your prayer today, is to ask that God would point out to you the marginalized voices in your life that you are not wanting to listen to, because what they offer as a perspective is so radical and so outside of the norm, outside of the box, that you would just rather not hear it. Would love to hear your thoughts in the comments, and maybe you took it a different direction. Maybe another part of chapter 12 resonated for you. Feel free to drop that there, and have an awesome day, and we'll see you tomorrow.